So overall, society is rewarding this. How do we change it?
It's very hard. Society will have to realize the mistakes of it. It takes decades sometimes, and we'll realize, oh my God, what have we done? Then we become slightly more conservative about things. We become more long-term about things.
When did you realize that you need to be long-term, not short-term?
I think when you see, like for example, when the family went through financial crisis, and I realized कि यार कुछ short-term behavior caused this for the whole family, right? You just start thinking that you need to do something more long-term in nature, right? And what I realized that what was long-term is skill, reputation, trust, wisdom, wealth, health, and just thinking more and more about these things, right? Mattered early on in life, because I was never having the luxury. I had no money to hang out with young friends and go for a party or being able to afford a trip. Like I didn't have the money for anything. I probably must have taken a trip abroad for fun after many, many, many years. I was your age or slightly younger, when I had done a lot of work to build first something. And I think that, for example, we were thrown from our houses to a chawl. So I was the one who actually bought a house on home loan before I traveled abroad for a vacation. But the younger generation is doing the exact opposite. Because they have the support of somebody's house that they know at least my parents' house is there, or I can go back to their house or whatever. I didn't have any of that. So I think sometimes not having anything long-term forces you to become long-term.
You said most of us who are driven, they're escaping something. Were you escaping something?
Yeah, escaping fear of poor. See, when you're also poor, when you suddenly become poor in your family, you will start seeing everybody distancing from you. Friends, family. Nobody really wants to hang around with poor people. Especially if you have become poor through your own choices. And like people try to keep you there, but like you know that they don't like want to really hang with you.
Yeah.
And that drives you that, okay, you cannot be that, right? And you're escaping that in some ways. But I think it becomes eventually the OCD that you want to continuously escape only, right? You're always thinking about, I need to escape even more and further and further and further. And it drives you.
So what is your fear today? Or what is escape? What is something that you're escaping today?
I think my fear always remains in that if I don't understand things. For me, not understanding how things work and becoming better at things that I don't have an understanding of is what drives me. Fear of irrelevance. What if I don't understand the younger generation? Right? Like what if I don't see what they're doing and understand their patterns? For example, how is AI going to shape our behaviors? I'm very, very interested in that. Right? Because this is the norm. We not realize it, but maybe a large majority of people are already having some version of relationship with their AI.
Yeah.
And that shapes humans differently. For example, let's say you are a male or female and you have a more fulfilling relationship with your ChatGPT. What if you find human relationships to be suboptimal?
Highly possible.
What will happen to human society then? Like, if you don't think about these things, you're unlikely to do something about it or be aware of it before it happens. See, if you have the mindset of having less and less surprises about life, it'll require you to constantly be aware about things.
But why is this need to understand this thing? Why is this need to predict or try to find a problem which is not there yet, but might become a problem? What drives you to actually कि कल पे अगर relationship लोग AI से बनाएंगे तो मैं क्या करूँगा?
I think what will you do with it? For example, can you build a business with it? Can you understand something? Can you create something? For example, when we made our ads for the first time and they broke the standard format of how ads were done and CRED ads became the standard of doing things, we realized that people were done with the same format of ads, right? And you had to do something that makes them come awake and notice and want to watch it without being interrupted. And content versus ad, that mindset. So you need to understand that the world is getting bored, right? For example, I had written something multiple years ago that people will find it very hard to watch movies because they're addicted to short dopamine cycles now. And I tweeted like many years ago that we almost feel like a meditation to watch a movie now, right? And to predict that trend and say, abhi iska kya hoga, right? So for example, the new format of short drama is taking off right now. It's nothing but people watching a movie with 25 breaks. If you ask an average person, how many times did you pause to finish a Netflix movie? The answer may be 25, 30. So they're anyways watching a movie like a short series.
Yeah.
Right? To continuously watch without being distracted, without being on your phone for 2 hours is getting harder. Almost impossible. In fact, I'm worried how movies are going to do well now because people find it very, very hard. In fact, I know that multiple OTTs are telling content creators that please make content that people can watch along with being on their phone.
Yeah.
So how do we make money from this now? So I see movies becoming grander than it affords for you to pay attention. So the movie budgets have to go crazier and you make a superhero movie and fantasy mythology movie and like you have to really raise the level. A regular story that used to be big hits before, unlikely to work now.
So you love to understand these patterns and
Make
behavior.
sense of them.
And then make sense of them. So maybe it will turn into an insight for you to build a business, or it's just awareness about society and it gives you a kick that, oh, I understood it.
I understood it as a bigger kick. Uska use kar diya to business ban jayega.
Okay.
Right? But
just understanding
it's not that, for example, when we started our chat, I was asking you about how you're doing things. And not that I'm going to ever come and compete in the business, but I have to understand how are you getting it right? If you have managed to get from X amount of revenue to 1000x of that revenue right now, kaise hua? What do people like? What do people share? What causes a reaction? What makes people come back again and again? What kind of people come? I have to understand. And I do that not for you. I will meet a musician and ask the same question.
I know.
I would ask Rahul Dravid the same question when I've met him. Ki yaar, kya ho raha hai? What are the new athletes all about? Right? And I'm always asking on why people's world work the way they work.
Yeah. I remember you asked me first time as well. क्यों कर रहा है? क्या long term क्या करेगा? अच्छा ये कैसे? Long term होगा कि नहीं होगा? कैसे होगा? क्या सोच के कर रहा है? Like all of these, I remember that.
Yeah.
So you do this. Do you think it's the primary trait or a fundamental trait for a lot of young people to become successful?
No.
Asking questions?
No. I think understanding things is more important than asking questions. One method of understanding things is asking questions.
Okay.
There are other ways to do that. For example, now chat GPT is a much more efficient method to understand things, and your medium of understanding things may be that. But sometimes counter questioning, for example, there are different ways to use chat GPT. For example, if I ask chat GPT that, please rate me on 10 on the quality of questions I've asked you so far amongst all the people. Most likely, it will tell you, "Aap to amazing ho." But if I asked, can you tell me what are the 5 ways I can ask better questions compared to the top 1% users on this platform? Help me identify the gaps. Much better answer. One is validation seeking. Second is feedback seeking.
Growth seeking.
Growth seeking. Blind spot seeking. It's extraordinary at blind spot seeking. For example, if you meet somebody for an interview and you convince them that I would like to record this interview for my own learning and recorded the whole thing and asked the AI that, what are the 10 things I sucked at? it might tell you, तुम question ही नहीं सुनते ठीक से. You have this anxiety to answer quickly, which you will not observe in yourself. I believe every single person should have an AI auditor of their behavior consistently.
Wow.
Imagine a coach. Imagine you have a 400 IQ tool in your pocket और उससे हम grammar fix करवा रहे हैं.
How do you use it? Give me one example.
No, this is one example. So what I do is I put
something that helped you, something that gave you feedback and you fixed on it. And
multiple
you
things
400
all the
IQ
time.
To the best.
All the time. Yeah. Observing my interviews, I'll say, did I do a good job of interviewing? Did I actually ask the right questions? Did I listen to the candidate or interrupted them too much?
Job interview.
Yeah, when I'm interviewing people. Then I've asked to observe something that I've written as a strategy and say what are the things that I've not thought about. I've used it in manners where I've said that let's say I'm this MBTI, I'm ADD. Can you convert this document for somebody who's this MBTI and this ADD and make me readable for me? Amazing.
Nice.
It makes it exciting for you to read the same document.
Nice.
I have done things where I would have a hypothesis and put the hypothesis out there. For example, I'll tell you one recent example. I had a feeling that all the countries that had extreme weather became great at planning, and people who do not have extreme weather are not good at planning. Because extreme weather forces you to have long-term thinking. Right? खाना स्टोर करके रखना है, आज स्नो होने वाला है तो प्लान करना है. Countries extreme weather जहाँ पे नहीं होता वो सब नहीं सोचते ये सब चीज़ें. Then I noticed that those countries also have a very unique trait of not wearing wide range of colors. So people with countries with extreme weather do not have very colorful color palette in their clothes. So when you go to countries with, let's say Russia, you will see like only 6 shades. But if you go to a place in Gujarat, like vibrant colors in their shirts. And then I noticed that further that they are also less likely to be emotionally expressive.
Countries with extreme
weather and people who have less colors. And so I made this compound hypothesis and put it out there in ChatGPT. I said, can you rate this on 10? And tell me 5 ways this may be wrong. Then it helped me sharpen कि यार this is looking like 8 on 10. 2 on 10 इसलिए नहीं है because ये 3 जगह एग्जाम्पल है कि यहाँ पे extreme weather है लेकिन तो भी कलरफुल कपड़े पहनते हैं. Planning ये है वो है. And then I made one more hypothesis that it also makes them more wealthier. So high per capita comes from countries who are better at planning.
Interesting.
But in the past, per capita income was higher in countries which were more resourceful and had less extreme weather. So if you go back in history, all the countries with less extreme weather were more prosperous because that causes the agricultural yield to be better. And all the technological innovation which drives planning and efficiency came in countries with extreme weather.
Long term versus short term.
Mm-hmm. And what I noticed is that many languages of countries with non-extreme weather does not have the word efficiency in their language.
Give me an example. Which country?
All the countries which are not extreme weather.
One example. Put it up.
Many Asian countries does not have word efficiency does not exist in their language.
Hindi mein?
And there's a human thing that we only act or feel a word when we know the word.
Yeah.
Or it exists in our vocabulary.
Very interesting. This is how you use ChatGPT.
Yeah.
थैंक यू सो मच ये क्लिप एंड तक देखने के लिए. अगर आपको और भी ऐसी क्लिप्स देखनी है तो राज शमानी क्लिप्स चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर लीजिए.